Yeah, it's cool to see the search back on after a 10-year hiatus from the championship tour. The last event that we had on the schedule for a search event was over in San Francisco already. But at the moment, in the last heat of the seeding round, we've got Julian Wilson loading up for something big on the end section. Just loses his equipment in the sky. And we'll have another look at it shortly. But it would have been an interesting conversation, I'm sure, up there with the judging panel as Devid Silva kicks out of one on the inside. Silva faded back so hard to try and get that inside position. If he just paddled straight into that wave, Morgan wouldn't have been in his way, but he wanted to keep him off it. But it was a really interesting scenario. Here's what unfolded between Devid Silva and Morgan Cibilic.
So Devid Silva was trying to get around the back of Morgan Cibilic there. And Morgan just trying to opt under. Just getting a little tangled up. They both ended up being out of position there. I think it's because Devid was further out and he was actually paddling into the wave and Morgan was paddling across. And then he's acted as a blocking technique, so I can see where they've got their logic behind it. And well, there's the ruling on the screen now.
So it's a non-priority interference. So Morgan Cibilic's going to lose half his second scoring ride. But it was an interesting one. It was just such a big directional change from Devid to try and get around Morgan. And Morgan almost appeared to quickly want to get out of his way, obviously, but he effectively went right on a left. So that was the interesting part of it for me. He faded so hard to try and get that position. But Morgan will have to work really hard now. He's going to need at least, you'd think, a couple of excellent scores to have a chance here. But it's the interference has been marked against Morgan. Non-priority, he's going to lose half his second scoring ride. So his highest scoring ride will count in full. He's got to make that a big one, because we know that it's difficult in this situation to get yourself the victory. Not impossible, but difficult. Well, Devid Silva's done both himself and Julian Wilson a huge favour in this heat. And here he is at the moment, really ripping into a couple of nice turns. I've always enjoyed the speed in which Devid surfs. I think we've seen him do some clean surfing at venues like Narrabeen and stuff.
As we watch the replay here, so this first turn, that was a bit better. See how he wrapped it all the way around. This second one, slams it. He does really well here to just ride over about 4 different lips that wave presented right on the end section.
Yeah, this is, I think, an adjustment in his approach from venues like Narrabeen, where we had him on the lefts and doing nice sequences of turns.
How happy does it make you to be going left, Yago?
Wow, it's so good. Even the events that were supposed to be a left the start of this season were mostly right. So on that heat, I just had the most fun. I was really happy to be getting these conditions. I mean, it was like really slow this morning, and it was kind of pumping for my heat. So
Yago Dora just looking so strong in that first heat here at the Rip Curl Rottnest search. Devid Silva, he's up at the moment. Getting right into the tactics, the cat and mouse of competitive surfing. We'll try and get a bit more information on that ruling from earlier on and interference.
Here we go, a little look at this one.
Yeah, Devid's going to capitalise. He knows that every little digit that he can add to his heat score total is going to make it very difficult for Morgan. So he's willing to take a chance on some of these insiders as well. Julian Wilson lining this one up. Drives up into the first section, some release in the tail, and gets on top of the roof one more time and finishes that one off.
And got the score. Jules looking good on this left-hander, just hammers that first turn, drifts the fins, chases that last section down the line.
Yeah, it was a really tough call on Morgan Cibilic, but Devid Silva was within his right to battle for that inside position. We've got him up at the moment, loses the back footing on that one. Stace is a qualified judge himself, so he's a good person to call on in these situations down there with the judging panel. And as he said, unanimous decision from the panel to to throw that interference at Morgan Cibilic, who just fell on that ride, and he can't afford to make any mistakes, Rich. He's got to go into the excellent range to have any sort of chance in this heat.
Looking like a set approaching here, Ronnie.
Yeah, he's going to use his priority on this one. Had a good look at the right, opts for the left-hander though. Julian just always has that fine touch, that feel off the bottom. Links together a couple of decent turns here. Might say goodbye to that 4.1 now.
And really getting amongst it, playing a lot of soccer and stuff like that down on the lay days at Margie's.
Here goes Julian Wilson, loading up for something big to finish here. This wave's going to get away from him though, just 35 seconds. And he's going to wrap it, feeling pretty comfortable that he'll be keeping a hold. Something standing up on the outside here, but he's after a huge number, an 8.87. David Silva lets this one slip by. We'll see what the youngster can do. He's definitely going to give it everything. Drives up over the roof, big float to finish, but it won't be enough.
Unfortunate heat as we see Devid Silva just doing a little lap of honour here. Great heat, some good surfing. Jules did enough. And unfortunately Morgan Cibilic, he'll need to reset before the next round.
Round 3. Entertaining start to that heat. David, how do you keep your focus after a tight paddle battle like that with Morgan?
Yeah, I go to the paddle out for the Morgan. It's no good, but I think so far the hits and it's very hard. And then yeah, I'm very happy to make for the after this condition, and then take for the 2 good waves and the 7 and the 5 and 5.5. And yeah, I'm very happy.
Watching Miguel and Gabriel and all the other Brazilian goofy footers, does that get you very excited?
Yeah, there's Miguel is my best friend, and they stay together. And then yeah, he's surfing amazing too. And Gabriel is a lot of the alley up, and the waves is amazing. And yeah, I'm very happy.
I've seen you do an alley-oop and an air reverse on the same wave before.
Nah, but Gabriel is the insane guy, and then yeah.
Very humble. Would you like to say hello to your friends and family back in Brazil?
Yeah, thank you. Obrigado a todos que estão na torcida, estou muito feliz de ter passado. Beijo para minha esposa, para minha filha que estão lá assistindo. Muito obrigado, tudo para a próxima.
Manly Australian Open of Surfing, 10-point ride. Thanks, David. Thank you.
I remember that one too, Stace. Yeah, he had double rotators on the same wave. I remember he did 2 alley-oops in a row on a wave at Manly back in the day. He won that event, and that actually helped him qualify for the tour. And he was a rookie back in 2019. Definitely some Brazilian domination in the opening round, Bugs, with